What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the new arc perk Voltshot, which is the arc's version of incandescent or volatile rounds. In this video we'll be going over exactly what it does and why it's easily the best of those three and why it's probably the best perk in the entire game. Also, we'll be looking at the sidearm and the scout it comes on and kind of doing a mini review of both of those along with a new Warlock build and talking about how this perk allows arc to scale into the endgame very smoothly. So there's gonna be a lot going on, so jumping straight into the perk. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges this weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt on its next hit. And jolt is easily the best thing arc 3.0 introduced to the game. So all you have to do is get a kill and reload, and now you have Voltshot ready for 6 seconds, and the next enemy you hit will then get jolt debuffed, which means every few seconds they take damage, they will do a burst of arc energy around them, doing a lot of damage. So in a way, this perk is like a way improved Dragonfly that has a much larger radius, and you can control when and where you actually proc the chain explosion. Whereas with something like Dragonfly or Firefly, the second you get a precision kill, it's going to do the explosion right then and there. This, you have 6 seconds to pick and choose exactly who you want to use it on. So for Actor, it's obviously insanely good, just a way better Dragonfly. But for higher health targets, you can also shoot them, and now it can be procced multiple times over a few seconds. So not only is it a better Dragonfly that you can choose when and where to use it, you can also proc it multiple times per use. So yeah, this perk is absolutely insane, and that kind of results in it being one of the best damage perks in the game too for a primary. For example, on that server I can't even kill it with 1 mag, but if I go ahead and proc Voltshot, now I can easily kill it in like 10 bullets. So not only is this perk greatly increasing your accurate potential, it's also one of the best damage perks in the game. And it doesn't even have to be used on arc itself. This works the exact same on every subclass in the game, but obviously it will synergize a lot better with some of the arc things in the game. So first, looking at the sidearm, which is one of the 2 primaries this perk comes on. If we look at the perks in the left and the right, there's gonna be a lot of good perks on this weapon, honestly. So on the left, you could do something like Pugilist plus Swash, Pugilist plus Demo. You could even do like Feeding Frenzy Surrounded, Threat Detector Surrounded. But obviously for this video, we're gonna be looking at the Voltshot on the right. Then on the left, the best ones to pair with it are gonna be Feeding Frenzy, or honestly just the one from the season pass with Threat Detector and a Pinamag is basically as good as it gets. And a Stability Masterwork on top of that to help out. Honestly, this is almost the god roll in my opinion. You're gonna be up close and personal all the time and always have Threat Detector procced. Then for the Scout, once again, a lot of really good perks, but we're just gonna be looking at Voltshot in the right. So what do we want to pair in the left? Well, you could use 4 times the charm, which wouldn't be bad, but I think Rapid Hit would be better for most situations. But finally, the best one in my opinion that I want is definitely gonna be Demo. And overall, the Scouts don't work the exact same way, you just get a kill reload. And the cool thing about Voltshot is when you get the kill to proc Voltshot, if you just reload again, you proc Voltshot once again, so it's like an infinite chain of just shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload, and constantly proccing that, you know, arc web like explosion. And overall, the Scout feels really good. I don't have a good left perk yet, but it already feels like one of the best Scouts in the game. And later in the video, we'll talk about how that really allows Arc 3.0 to shine in the end game. But one thing that is a lot easier to see with the Scout is how much this is like increasing the damage of the weapon itself. Usually we hit for this like 3.3k number per shot, but just in our first 7 shots we've already procced the jolt twice. So that is effectively increasing our damage per shot from 3.3 to 6.9 thousand, which is over double damage. So as I've mentioned before, not only is this like a good accurate perk, it's one of the best damage perks in the game too. And really the only fragment that enhances this for arc is defeating a jolted target will create a Onic Trace, which obviously works well on Warlock. And speaking of which, I made a new build for the Warlock. A lot of this you can do on any character with the mods and things like that. So just looking at our subclass, the first change is we're going to be using Arc Soul now. Then for our fragments, we have Recharge, Shock, Discharge, then Ions as we mentioned before. And our exotic of choice will be the Verity's Brow. You guys thought you're going to get through a season without me using this? You're wrong. Still easily one of the best exotics in the game. When you get kills with your energy weapon, you'll get up to 5 stacks, which will be double grenade damage and you'll get your grenade back a lot faster, and when you throw it, you'll give your allies nearby a huge increase to the recharge rate of their grenades themselves. And if we look at our mods, first we have Bountiful, then we have Elemental Charge plus 1 grenade kickstart, then we have Elemental Ordnance, then on our boots we have Font of Might plus 1 Innervation. And finally, on our class item, we have a few things going on. The first of which is the Lightning Strikes Twice artifact mod to give us improved arc grenade recharge rate. Then we have Surprise Attack to increase the damage of our sidearm, along with the arc overload nades. So now with all this going on, you simply just use your sidearm and go back and forth between throwing your nade. As you use your sidearm, you'll get ×5 stacks with Verity's Brow, making your grenade do double damage. Your grenade will create arc elemental wells. Picking those up will allow you to get charged magazine shots for your sidearm, making it do more damage, and proc Font of Might. So we're going to be upping our damage of our sidearm quite a bit, making it easier to proc all those Voltshot rounds, and just simply spamming our grenade left and right. Then we also have the Arc Soul Rift on top of all of that. And now with the Verity's Brow, these grenades do a decent chunk of damage. They're not quite on the Titan's level, but they're definitely extremely strong. And now moving on to the Scout, as I mentioned before, this allows Arc 3.0 to not only work in the in-game, I think it actually kind of shines with this perk. And that is because Scouts are obviously one of the top picks for harder content, but they're also anti-barrier this season, so it fits in very, very well. So all we have to do for our build is simply just change our gloves. So change from the grenade kickstart and the sidearm loader to anti-barrier scout and a scout loader. Then instead of the elemental charge, you will then run elemental armaments. Then I just keep surprise attack on because you only have 1 energy anyway, so there's not really room for anything else. You could take that off just to get rid of the -10 inlick though. So in this build we already have overload grenades and anti-barrier, but if you need unstoppable, we have a shotgun on, and you can just simply change the scout loader to the unstoppable shotgun and be able to cover all 3 champions very easily with this build. So between your Arc Soul, your Verity Brow grenades, the Voltshot rounds on your scout, you know, the ad clear is going to be extremely easy for harder content, and you're just going to be constantly chaining electricity everywhere. But then for like the champions, bosses, wherever it is, you have Anarchy, plus I use the enhanced surrounded shotgun, which I made a video on yesterday, and that will definitely cover you for the champions and the boss fights. And when you get to the harder content in the game, you can really see where Voltshot shines. For lower content, it's obviously amazing, right? But for the most part, you're just going to shoot it off right away on the first thing you see, and it's going to do the chain electricity and cover nearby. But the fact that you have 6 seconds to choose when and where you use it really comes to use in these harder activities where you can kind of wait for a champion, wait for a major, and not just necessarily spam it on like the first thing you see. And it kind of results in like a skill gap to this perk. I'm still learning it. Obviously, as you see in this gameplay, I might not be the most efficient yet of using it in like the right spot, but as you get more and more used to it, you're gonna be able to determine exactly where and when you want to use it to like maximize its effects. Also, Voltshot allows you to break shields a lot easier, as you'll see in this gameplay. There are solar shanks in this lost sector, and I don't have a solar weapon on, but if I have the Voltshot procced, I can easily break their shield very, very quickly. So overall, this perk really is just an improved Dragonfly that has a much larger radius, and you can choose when and where to use it, and it can be procced multiple times per use, which also leads it to being one of the best damage perks for primaries in the game, effectively making your weapon on average do 2x more damage, which all leads me to say it is the best perk in the game. And with it on this scout rifle, it really allows you to use Arc 3.0 in a very meaningful, impactful way in the in-game in Destiny 2. Anyways, I think that's me it for the commentary. Just the rest of this Lost Sector gameplay left. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.